All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to make sure that we get everyone muted here. All right. Let's see. Make sure I'm all set. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy almost Thanksgiving as well. I was just looking at my calendar and it's crazy to me. I feel like I always say this, but it's already almost Thanksgiving, which means it's already almost Christmas and the New Year's and then January. So I'm really excited to be chatting with you guys today about a topic that I know a lot of individuals struggle with is how to stay healthy during the holidays. This is something that I know just a lot of people struggle with. There's a lot of stress and anxiety and emotions around the holidays, which is totally normal. And I think a lot of times, like the pressure and being around a lot of food and a lot of potentially indulgent food can leave us feeling more anxious than usual. So this webinar was created with you guys in mind to help you really to navigate the holidays. We're going to be chatting about a lot of different things today. And I will say, if you guys do have any questions, I will be taking them at the end. I'll be opening it up for discussion. So we will wait until the end to get started for that. We're going to hop right on in. So I know there are a few familiar names here, and there are a lot more signed up for the replay of this. So I just wanted to reintroduce myself. If you don't know who I am, who Nourished Roots is, my name is Allison Tallman. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm the founder of Nourished Roots. Nourished Roots was started in January of 2019, and I help clients to gain clarity in what to eat. I help them to build consistent eating habits, to feel confident in their food choices, to feel less confused about what to eat. I know there's so much information out there, especially on the internet and on TV ads and things like that. And I help clients to nourish and fuel their body. So really to optimize their nutrition. I did want to put out my website, nourishedroots.com, because a lot of you guys are always having questions about like recipes or resources and things like that. I do have a ton of free resources under this resources tab, as well as a ton of recipes for you guys. So I know some of you guys on the live call have tried them before, so give them a try if you haven't already, and feel free to always send my way or send me a photo. I love seeing when my community makes those recipes. So we're going to be talking about lots of great stuff: holidays and dieting, mindfulness, hydration, movement. As I said, we'll be doing a Q&A, and I do want to share, I have two announcements at the end of this. So whether you're listening to the live of this or whether you're watching the replay of this, stick around till the end for two big announcements. So we are going to go into holidays and dieting first here. So the average American gains about 1 pound at least each holiday season. I hear all the time from clients that they actually gain even more than that, or they have gained more than that prior to working with me. And unfortunately, weight that is gained each year can become harder to lose. If anybody here has gained weight slowly over time and now they're up 10, 20, 30 pounds, it can be harder and harder to lose it. And as I mentioned, the holiday season brings more access to a lot of indulgent food, such as alcohol, appetizers, finger foods, foods that are like heavy in like cream and butter and more refined carbs than maybe we're used to. So a lot of different foods. And as we all know, Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holiday season, there's events packed within those. So that's what we're here to navigate today. So dieting or starting a new diet during the holiday season is just not realistic. I don't recommend starting like a totally new diet. Some of you guys are wanting to say, okay, like starting this Thanksgiving or in December, I'm going to do a calorie restriction or something. And this can actually be really depriving. And as I mentioned, the holidays they can be filled with emotions, positive emotions, negative emotions, mixed emotions. The loss of a loved one can come back, like memories of that. And it can be really depriving. Diets can be bland. If you're like anything like my family, we love having like our usual recipes, some of like our family recipes. And that would not be enjoyable if you had to totally avoid those foods that you like. The diets that you may be starting around the holidays or even in the new year promise a quick fix, but they don't actually deliver results. So for me, when I work with my clients, I always say, if we're going to do something, I want whatever we're going to do and the changes we're going to make to actually work. So rather than start a diet that's going to fail, why don't we put energy into something that is going to see results? It's going to leave you feeling more hangry potentially, and it can increase anxiety and depression around the holidays. So I'd love for you guys, you can put in the chat box if you want. You can also think of, or say it out loud if you want to. Just want to give you guys a moment. And just think of your favorite food that you have around the holidays. Or maybe there's some type of food that you feel nostalgia around. Maybe it's like your grandma's favorite gingerbread cookies. Maybe it's your uncle's like fried turkey, whatever it is. What food do you like? And imagine if you had to give it up and how that would just not be enjoyable and how that would feel super restrictive. Just want you guys to think about that for a second. And what happens when we completely restrict ourselves? When we are restricting ourselves, so you have negative thoughts, maybe you want to like lose weight. You restrict, say, carbs during the holidays. You feel really deprived. You can't have your I don't know, your husband's homemade sourdough that he made or something. Feel deprived of that. Then you feel like anxious around the holidays or stressed or emotional. So you end up overeating the bread because you're thinking to yourself, well, I deserve this bread. Then you feel shameful. You've overeaten, you feel guilt, shameful, you hate your body again. So then you start a new diet. So this is the diet binge cycle that so many of us are in most of the year. And my goal as a dietitian is to actually get all of us out of this diet cycle. So instead of focusing on weight loss, I do recommend around the holiday season, focusing on enjoyment and weight maintenance. So thinking of foods that nourish our body, and not becoming ultra focused with weight loss. It is possible to lose weight around the holidays, but if you think of weight loss being in a restrictive mindset, then you're not going to be able to achieve that weight loss that you want to see. So now we're going to talk a little bit about mealtime. So a lot of us, I think it's human nature for a lot of us to want to like skip meals, to think that we're saving up for a bigger one. So for example, Thanksgiving, skipping breakfast, skipping lunch because you're going to have this like meal later on. But when you skip, you actually overeat later on. You eat more calories, you eat more fat, you eat more salt. So I do recommend starting your day with a protein-rich breakfast. And also in the bigger picture in the scale of things, one big meal, like your Thanksgiving meal, is not going to ruin your health. It really will not ruin your health in the long run. I promise you that. And again, we're thinking of the big picture here and what we're doing majority of the time. So instead of feeling that guilt, give yourself permission to eat the foods that you want to eat. And as I said, research shows that those skip meals actually eat more later on. And those who skip meals, research shows, actually gain more weight. So in the holiday season, instead of maybe gaining like 1 pound and maintaining your weight, you actually will be gaining 5, 6, 10 pounds, whatever it is. So instead of saving up those calories, just enjoy your meal and eat consistently. Limiting alcohol. So I'm not saying totally avoid alcohol. I consume alcohol myself, but consuming excessive alcohol can increase consumption of food or cravings. So that can be, you have a couple glasses of wine, you're feeling good, so you end up having way more to eat than you normally would. It can actually also spill over into the next day as well. Anyone here who's had like a hangover knows that you can eat unhealthy, you have a lack of motivation, brain fog, you just like are not feeling your best. So there are a couple things you can do. Everyone's different. Limiting yourself to 1 drink per hour. My trick that I always recommend to clients is switching off, if you do consume alcohol, switching off between water and alcohol. So like using the same glass, like maybe say you had a beer, drinking your beer, filling this with water, drinking the water, and then going and having another beer. That way you're still hydrating yourself as well. And maybe over the holidays, choosing to drink alcohol on the days or like the parties or the family gatherings that matter, rather than drinking a bottle of wine with your husband or your roommate or spouse on just a night it's just the two of you. Finding activities outside of alcohol, because there are a lot of parties and holiday gatherings and happy hours. So it's important to be able to navigate those situations and maybe not have alcohol every day. So if you do decide to partake in alcohol, choose options that are not filled with like a ton of sugar. It is okay to have like, I'll make like a festive cocktail for my family and I'll have one with like cranberry juice or something, but you shouldn't be drinking that like all night long or day after day. Eggnog, I will say, a lot of people always ask me about eggnog. It's okay to have a glass. I don't know how many people are drinking too much eggnog, but eggnog has a lot of cream and therefore calories in it. So choosing drinks that maybe have limited cream, limited sugar, and ones that don't have just like a ton of empty calories. So here is a recipe that I like to point out to you guys. I've tried this one before. It's really good. This is like a sangria. I like to point this out. There is like honey in it, honey is considered a natural sugar source. I love using honey in my cooking, in my mocktails, and my cocktails. So this could be a good potential one for you to give a try. It's very flavorful. And again, this replay will be available, so you can always like screenshot that too. Remember that all food groups matter. So you should still be focusing on this plate. So even like Thanksgiving meal, when you have like mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, bread rolls, etc., it should look like this if your priority is to nourish your body. So this should be a quarter of your plate grains, a quarter of your plate protein, half your plate fruits and veggies. But again, if the sweet potato dish, the mashed potatoes, and the bread rolls are like your favorite items at Thanksgiving, give yourself grace and know that it's just one meal of the year. So you want to make half your plate veggies. I think this is something that we can all really challenge ourselves to do over the holidays, is actually eating more veggies. So if you're going to a party, for example, or you're hosting, you have control of what you bring or make. Always bring something that's veggie based if you're not sure what the options are going to be. And that way you can actually get your veggie intake in. That's what I always do. And, you can imagine my friends make fun of me as being the one who's always bringing the veggies, but everyone always loves that. Everyone appreciates that. Choosing complex carbs over refined. So maybe eating like potato more so than just a bread roll. Potato, the skin will have, for example, like fiber in it. Choosing lean proteins over full fat ones. So like turkey is actually a lean protein source. So that's like a great option. Eating less of like really fatty meat, steak, ham, etc. And outside of just turkey, nuts, beans, chicken, complex carbs, or things like potatoes, you could offer to make something with beans or quinoa or brown rice. If you are serving bread rolls, maybe you can bring ones that are like whole wheat bread. And next, I know this seems like a funny title, but I would say to be picky. And this means that enjoy foods that are special to the holidays. So maybe you always have like bread rolls, or like you go out to eat a lot and bread rolls are always available. Like maybe you skip the bread roll and you have the sweet potato casserole instead, because you only have that once a year. And eat intentionally that way and not mindlessly. That way you're being more purposeful with, okay, like this is my favorite thing versus I don't even like this. And I do like to say to my clients, like, think to yourself, like, why am I eating this? And this is not to be putting you back in the negative mindset, but if you're asking yourself, like, why am I eating this? And your answer is like, because I love this food, then like eat that food. But a lot of times we tend to eat mindlessly, and we usually end up not actually really enjoying the food that we're eating. We're just eating the food to eat it. When going for seconds, opt in for more veggies or fruit or that protein before you like load up back on all the carbs, because you likely have eaten a good amount of carbs around the holidays. So thinking a little bit about mindfulness and mindful eating now. So mindful eating is paying attention to our food on purpose, moment by moment, without judgment. It's an approach to food that focuses on individuals' awareness of the food and their experience of the food. So mindful eating is not thinking of the plate method that I mentioned. It is focusing on like what your food tastes like, what it looks like. How are you feeling while you're eating the food? Are you hungry? Are you full? So we will go into this now. So savor the bites that you're taking. So recognize the flavors, textures, appearance. I call this the wine tasting method. So you should be looking down at your food, thinking of how it tastes. How does it make you feel? Slowing down. This is something that is huge for my clients. I say to them, slow down. One of my clients recently, she realized that she was eating super, super quickly. I challenged her to take 5 minutes to eat her oatmeal for breakfast. And she said 5 minutes was really hard. And if you are a fast eater, put down your fork in between bites. You can match the pace of a slower eater. Trying not to just grab food like mindlessly, as I mentioned before, paying attention to what you're eating. And it can be helpful to actually eat from a plate or like sitting down, which seems kind of silly, but a lot of us tend to like graze and grab things and we're not really paying attention. Versus putting food on a plate, you're likely to actually pay attention to what you're eating. This is a brief intro. We're not going to go really into this today. We don't have a ton of time, but the hunger fullness scale is a part of mindfulness to tell you when it's time to eat versus when you're full and satisfied. So when it's time to eat, around the holidays, this can be out of our control because someone's like serving the meal. But when you're full and satisfied, you should think of your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like very ravenous, I'm hangry, 10 being like super full, Thanksgiving, I feel sick to my stomach. You should always stop eating when you're about a 7-ish. This is very subjective. So my 7 will look different than your 7 potentially, or change day to day. But this can be helpful for you guys to implement and be more in tune with your hunger. If you feel like you're not in tune with your hunger and fullness, you're not sure what like your hunger cues are, I strongly recommend scheduling a free discovery call with me, because this is something that we can just go over together and visualize it to you. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the holidays are filled with emotions. I get it. I think of loved ones who have passed around the holidays. You think of like traditions with them. And I do recommend finding other ways to cope with emotions outside of using food, outside of using alcohol. So going for a walk, cooking and baking. I'm not saying like the actual process of eating, but like being part of like the kitchen routine and like helping to bake your favorite dish can be distracting for you. Read a book, FaceTime a loved one, watch holiday movies. So finding ways to cope with that emotion and stress. Being mindful of grazing. So I know I mentioned this earlier. You have a plate full of, or an island or a table filled with like appetizers. So eat from a plate. So put food on a plate. A second thing is like eating while you're sitting. And that may seem really silly, but a lot of times we tend to be like standing up while we're eating like even a piece of cake. And you're not really actually enjoying what you're eating because you're like talking, you have like cake in your mouth while you're talking. So sitting down can help you to be more aware of what you're eating and like actually enjoy it too. Then we'll talk about hydration here. For water intake, which if you have water near you, this is a sign to drink a whole sip. Aiming for at least 64 ounces a day, 8 glasses, and recognize while you're traveling, you may need more water based on the new location you're at, altitude, traveling, etc. Switch alcohol to water 1-to-1, as I mentioned. And one thing to know is that coffee, tea, non-caloric seltzers, they do all contribute to water intake. So that contributes towards the 8 glasses. I don't recommend drinking like 8 cups of coffee per day, but that 1 glass of coffee can contribute. If you're not currently drinking 8 glasses at least, there are things you can do. There are like online like apps, which I'll share with you. This is this is a tracker that my clients have access to where they can like check off how much they drink. This is just like one of a million resources my clients get working with me. You have to find what works best for you. Some of my clients will use like sticky notes. Like I'm always having like water near me at all times, which can just be like a useful reminder. These are apps that you can use for your phone. I'll be totally transparent that I've not used any of these myself because I am very good about drinking water, but these are ones my clients have used and have said they like. But everyone's different. There's a lot of great water bottles out there too. Another reflection time for you guys, you can either put in the chat box or you can just reflect on it yourself, but would love to have you just reflect on how many glasses of water you drink per day. Are you drinking 8 glasses? Are you drinking only 5 glasses? If you're only drinking 5 glasses, what is holding you back? A lot of times it's just like forgetting to drink water, which is totally normal. So thinking to yourself, like, how can I get myself to drink 8 glasses per day? Lastly, here we're going to cover movement. So don't forget to move your body. Try and stick with your usual routine. I know it's hard. Even, myself, I have family coming into town for Thanksgiving next week. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to be like doing my normal, I normally go to the gym at like 7 a.m. every morning. I'm not going to do that likely, but I do want to find ways to move. So like for me, getting like my brother involved is always kind of fun because we're doing it together. Family walks is a great idea. As we mentioned, hangovers can really decrease your likelihood of working out. Just to make sure you drink plenty of water. Going along with the stress and emotions and anxiety, movement can help decrease that or manage that. It can really help to improve your mental health and bring you joy around the holidays. If you're not able to, maybe you don't have access to like your usual Orange Theory, or you don't have access to whatever gym you go to, going for a walk is better than nothing, and walking is for free. The most important thing though is to find activities that bring you joy. If you hate riding a bike, don't ride a bike. If you hate running, don't go running. Find something that truly brings you joy. And the best part about the holidays when you're with loved one is you can get them involved as well. Just some ideas, going for a walk, playing with your dog, yoga. There's at-home YouTube videos, Peloton, riding a bike, so many different things that you can do to incorporate some movement. But again, it's whatever is helpful for you. So I just want you guys to reflect on these few things here. So think of 2 things that are in your control this holiday season. So there are many things out of our control. Think of 2 things that are in your control, whether it be what you bring to the holiday meal. Moving your body is in your control. How you respond to stress is in your control. Things that are out of our control, the next one, think of 2 things that are not in your control. The way your, in-laws act, your grandma who says things at the kitchen table, whatever it is, there are going to be things that are out of your control. Your sleeping situation, potentially, if you're like traveling, whatever it is, you want to be able to focus. You want to focus more so on the things that are in our control versus out of our control. And food is one thing, and water and movement, those are all things that are in our control. Thinking of things that you want to accomplish, and also making sure you're realistic. So next steps, this is one of my announcements. So after the holidays, I know so many of us are like, okay, January is here. We're going to kick it off with New Year's resolutions. 2023, it's not just 2023. 2023 is going to be my year. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. New Year's resolutions, here we go. Instead of making New Year's resolutions, I just wanted to let you guys know one of my announcements. I have a masterclass that is totally free, all about jumpstarting your new year. I'm going to be diving into the biggest mistakes that people make with setting New Year's resolutions, why dieting doesn't work, how to manage weight without counting calories or macros, goal setting tactics and examples, how to reach your nutrition goals, and what you should be eating. So what to eat, how to implement healthy eating strategies, and then healthy, effortless recipes to incorporate. So again, this is totally free. I do have 2 dates and times available. The 5th of December at lunchtime and the 6th of December in the evening. The reason there are two options is because I strongly recommend that you attend one of them. You will get the replay if you can't make the live, but you are more likely to pay attention if you show up to the live. I'm sure all of us here have signed up for a webinar or something where we say we're going to watch the video and we don't. I hold webinars all the time myself, and I still do that, signing up for other free things. So you will actually be able to absorb the information. Those who attend the live webinar will also get access to holiday recipes. You will not get access to those recipes if you do not attend the live. But that being said, I know things happen. So if you can't attend, life happens. 2 dates and times. I'm going to put the link to sign up in the chat afterwards when we're answering questions. And then the other thing that I want to share with you guys is Black Friday is coming up. I'm going to have a bunch of really big sales and specials going on, as well as a healthy holiday eating guide. And the healthy holiday eating guide has journal prompts, has additional holiday recipes. It has the biggest mistakes people make during the holidays. And it has the key steps to take in order to stay on track with your health goals and not gain weight through December. So this is something that's also available. This is for you, the Black Friday sale, if you're ready to feel unstuck, have a plan in place, and transform your health and eating habits for good. So 2 big announcements: Black Friday sale coming at you in basically a week from tomorrow, and the free masterclass. So I'll put that in there, and I'm going to take questions in a second. I'm going to put this information here. I'll take questions. If you need to contact me, want to contact me, you can reach out at info@nourishedroots.com. My website is right there as well, and my social handle. I will stop recording now and we'll take questions from anybody. I do appreciate all of you guys attending. Head to nourishedroots.com if you want to sign up for the free masterclass. So thank you guys.